Hey, Corky here, Hamilton, Alabama. Yamaha steel string, grand concert size. Talking about improvisation on acoustic guitar. I've just got on this tear to where I just want to get in front of the camera and pick the guitar in the way that I just want to, and then I want to talk about what I'm doing. Seems to be a method of learning that goes pretty well with my Tuesday night folks that drop by, and it seems to be the way I learned. There are people out there who know all kind of stuff or can do all kind of stuff, and it really does not do any good to have a stack of papers or a bunch of digital downloads if you're not actually interacting with the instrument and figuring out not just where to put your fingers on the fretboard, but how to grab the thing, how to attack the instrument. And to me, that a lot of that is experiential and it is somewhat subjective and it can't be quantified, and it happens just with people looking at somebody and saying, I think I can do what he's doing right there. Um, so if that makes sense to you, you might want to keep watching my videos. If not, there's great guys out there that have all kind of special effect cameras, and they got all kind of art on their videos and animations and showing you album covers and everything, and so you can do that anytime. I appreciate it if you're there with me though today, and I want you to click like and subscribe if you will, because I'm looking at 500 subscribers right now in the future, near future, and then this can start to be something that develops into something. So I talked about the key of G when we're in an open position on acoustic guitar, and that basically these chords become the parameters which you walk a bunch of notes out in a solo, and then uh, you might be adding some intermediate notes, and you might be accenting it with some technique, like the bluegrass lick that I mentioned. That's a combination of a G scale with some intermediate notes. In other words, the notes that are in between the scale, and it's up and down strokes. And when we go into a rhythm and we're in the key of G on acoustic guitar, we might add a hammer on there, and that's adding technique to the rhythm. There might be a guy on rhythm guitar that's just strumming out. Maybe he's going to do, or she's going to do something as brave as an alternating bass line. You, as a second guitar player, getting ready to improvise and do solos and things like that, call and response to the vocalist or whatever, you may do something a little different. You may add a hammer on. There are whole songs written by just taking a chord that's just hammering on notes within the chord, like that C, right? There are whole songs written inspired by just a particular rhythm of chords, okay? So in G, and there's a walk up in D, low E, F, F sharp, A, B, A, D. So if we're playing like, these are the parameters. So that's not improvising when I do a thing like that. That's a rhythm thing, a rhythm progression. Improvising would be where I would make up something else to go in along with that rhythm, like this. What I'm doing there is a double stop, and I'm sliding it. Double stops are another thing when you're doing improvisation, adds variety. What I mean by that is it's a two-note thing rather than just a one-note thing. So if we're in open G playing, and I was using Ramblin' Man as an example since it's a good Southern rock song. Dickie Betts begins up here. Not exact, but it's the range where he is at the intro. And then, Lord, I was born a rambling man. And then the improvisation, well, it's not the improvisation, it's actually the body of it goes. That's a G, F, G, G, F, G, G, F, G. Sound like coffee name, J, F, G. No, it's G, F, G. So that's part of, and I'm leaving that G note on as I'm going. I'm not saying Dickie Betts did it, but it works for me to use it. And so what double stops would we improvise on this while the vocalist is singing? I might go. There's something I might do. They might say, Lord, Lord, I was born a rambling man. I might go. And what that is it's a D, E to the G note, slide up to B, hit the D, that's just a riff, right? But that might be something I would throw in between the vocal. I might go up here and do some triads, you know. It's just three notes, like a little D chord up here on the 8th fret, and it makes it a G. I might slide that. So double stops, triads would be a thing. Let's talk about some other double stops as I'm improvising Ramblin' Man. Go up here in G. Here's a B string on the 8th, the E string on the 7th, there's the F, and that's a way to use double stops to improvise. Like for example, I might just start out by going. And there's two notes there I did. And what I'm doing there is I'm just doing I'm in the major scale, bending, then I'm going like two notes, I might even go up here and bend and hold this note right here. Especially if it's a country flavor. I might go here. Still we're in this, right? So I might do this. I might go, and you can do it in a couple places, but that D to E, D to E, to that G note. See that? You can do it down here too. D to E. It's a good exercise. Those are pull-offs on a double stop. These are riffs that I might throw in as I'm improvising. But the main thing is I'm saying something. And might go singing with it, even though your voice don't sound pretty, is helpful because it teaches your brain where, when your hands are on a certain place, what note you're going to be playing. I'm not thinking about any letters. I'm not thinking about A, B, C, D, E, F, G. No mathematics, no 1 and 2s. It's all about art. It's poetic. It's tone poet. So these are the kind of licks that I might throw in improvising, you know. And then up here, talk about double stops. Here's a good one. Trying to think what that sounds like. I know I've heard that. Maybe it's the Birds. That's something that maybe Clarence White would have done. What that is, 10th fret, B and E string up here, and I'm hammering on to the 12th. That sounds really good on electric too. All of this we're talking about done on acoustic, okay? Like if you listen to songs like well, the Byrds album Untitled, where they have a lot of acoustic lead playing, or maybe you're going to listen to Jim Croce and his lead player. All of this would be like, now in the bluegrass, you know, you would be like that's a good double stop right there in bluegrass. You'll hear that a lot. Well, I'm just sliding up my D string up to the 5th fret. Gives you a nice big sound. Then in a bluegrass country realm, if I want to do some blues licks, then I might do a double stop like this. And that's 2 notes right there, D, B flat, up to C and an E. Miss that. So I miss notes sometimes. See, like that would be a great ending note if you're playing these open acoustic things. Then you got the whole, here I'm playing, and there's a whole chord right there, in G like that. Okay, let's say now that you wanted to do something different in G. You're the second guitar player, somebody else is just strumming, G, C, and D. Then what you might do a little kind of Here Comes the Sun thing, where you put a capo on the 5th fret, and then you play in D. Now you gotta be able to transpose in your mind. So I know that if we're in the key of G and I put a capo on the 5th fret, I just know that see there, and that's kind of a swampy thing there. The other guitar player would be in G, strumming open, and then I could do something like this. And then in the key of D, oftentimes in bluegrass, for example, they'll put a capo on the 2nd fret and play in G, so they're in A. Okay, so one of the reasons they do this, I don't know how bad their guitars were, how high the action was. They wanted to ring out though, so they would often put a capo on the 2nd fret and still play in G. Maybe it's because they only played in G, and so they slide the capo over, and now we're talking Muddy Waters stuff. So let me just take a minute and move to the key of E and explain what this capo business is happening. Now me, I try not to play with a capo primarily, as my other videos have told you, because I want to unlock the fretboard so I can play from the very lowest note of the guitar up to the very high sweeter spots. All right, but let's just take Muddy Waters, who mostly always played in E. There's your blues scale. So Muddy would be wanting to go, and he's playing slide too, see? So they're in E, he might play in E, but then if they do a song in G, well, Muddy is not going to be necessarily playing G chords. I don't even know if I've seen him play a G chord. He would go put a capo on the 3rd fret and still play in E. And now he can do so there's all his blues scale in E, but with a capo on the 3rd fret, he's doing it in G. I think he definitely did that little double stop there. But then they might do a song in A. Well, he'll just slide it. Muddy would just slide it. He's on a Telecaster a lot of times, and he'd slide it up to 5th fret and still play in E. And then, of course, he's doing a lot of slide playing too. So, the capo can be used just to change the sound of a second guitar, or in Muddy's case, a first guitar. And it really sounds good when Muddy's got a capo and he's playing that Telecaster up, up, and then the lead guitar player, which would have been Buddy Guy, right? Or it would have been, what's his name? I'm getting old, I can't remember names. Anyway, there was another prominent, Hubert Sumlin would have been the lead guitar player. So he could go over the whole neck. So that makes for an interesting thing, for the rhythm to be tighter and then for the lead player to be free to go up and down, you know, which I think a lot of times in Jackson Browne's music, that's what's happening, is that Jackson Browne is playing a lot of tight rhythms, you know. And then David Lindley's got that lap steel, and he's going from the highs to the low lows, and he's kind of swirling all around Jackson Browne's acoustic. Okay, that's just some thoughts. I've gone 20 minutes. I don't mean to, but this is River. And so I hope this is helpful to somebody. Let me know if it is. All right, have a good one.